Good evening, my friends. This is Angie Stewart here in Kardec Radio. How are you all doing? So today is December 19th. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm very happy to be here. It's funny to mention, but every time that I have to start an online class, something happens. Always something happens. Or the internet's not working, or the computer's not working, or some kind of problem. And today, even the book disappeared. It's like unbelievable. It seems the spirits that don't want us to do the good work, the spirits that want to stop us from working for Jesus, they really do all kinds of things. But as I always say, it's very, very, very important that we persevere. We have to persevere. Doesn't matter what, we have to persevere. And I'm very happy I persevered. And then when they saw I was not giving up and I was like going all over the place, I finally discovered where the book was hiding. Crazy. So anyway, oh, I see names here. I actually am like, I'm giving up on anything else. It's working. I'm already excited. So I see Teresa. Hello, Teresa. How are you? We are almost in Christmas time. Very exciting time of the year. So I cannot see any names unless you write something. I can't see your name. Something changed on Facebook, so it's okay. If you are new to this study, we are studying this beautiful book, Among Brothers of Other Lands. We are already in chapter 14. We study the book for around 40 minutes. Then we go to the Gospel according to Spiritism. So every time before we start the study, I would like to invite you to have a bottle of water, and we do a very short prayer just to connect with our enlightened spirits, with our guardian angels, with a protector. So it will help us to be able to connect, understand, be able to ask very good questions or make very important comments, especially if I miss something. So let's just do it very, very quickly. Dear God, beloved Master Jesus, thank you so much for another time being able to be here with all our brothers and sisters, incarnated and discarnated, studying another beautiful book, and most of all, trying to improve ourselves, being better day by day. Please stay with us, help us, guide us, and inspire all of us. Thank you so much. So be it. So, very good. Very good. Before we start, I just want to give you some suggestions of books, because a lot of people write me, oh, what are you reading? I read all the time. And not just about Spiritism, but yes, Spiritism is something very important for me. I also love to read about the history. But anyway, so today I'm going to show you just a few books that are really good. So this book, What is Spiritism? So this book, it's very thin, looks nothing like the Gospel. The Gospel is like three, almost 4 times bigger. So this book is really like a little summary of what is Spiritism. So Kardec wrote this book because he wanted to let people know in a very short way what is Spiritism. And he did it in a very interesting way, where he did some interviews with people that did not believe, or they had like deep questions about it. So it's a great Christmas book. I don't sell books, but this is a great gift if some person that you know is actually curious about what is it. So I think it would be a wonderful way for you to give a gift. This other book, the name is it's in Portuguese, but I know a lot of people that listen or that watch our videos are Brazilians or they are from Portuguese language background. So this beautiful book, O Colar de Diamantes, is translated to The Diamond Necklace by Divaldo Franco. It tells lots of short stories with very deep, profound meaning. Little romances, little stories with a deep meaning for us to reflect. So it's absolutely beautiful. This other book also in Portuguese. I'm so sorry, my English friends, but today I'm like, I don't know. This is a very old book that I read when I was a teenager, long time ago. So the name is Chanceler de Ferro. So the spirit is here, is J.W. Rochester. It's this book, the J.W. Rochester has many books, like around 100 books. Only one medium, a Russian lady, her name is Vera, I forgot her last name, it's very complicated. She psychographic 51 books from this spirit, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's really the level of details is very, very deep, and it changed my life when I was like 15, 18. I did not know Spiritism, but I always believed in life after death. I always believed in the communicability with the spirits. And I was never afraid of them. I was actually very curious. So when I got this book, I loved it. So I had all the opportunities that I could. I bought different books from the same spirit. So if you can, please read it. You are going to absolutely love it. I will later on put a link here and also in my Inner Light Facebook page with a translation of his books in English and also a little bit of his life when he was incarnated and he was actually a count in England. So before we start, so Saul, hello Saul, nice to have you here. So Teresa said Prelude to the Divine Kingdom by Divaldo in English. Good. Is this book or is it a different book? Because Divaldo has so many books, but it's also Prelude to the Divine Kingdom. This also must be a wonderful book. Divaldo, all his books are amazing. So let's go. Today's chapter is also small, so it's good for us. We can reflect a little bit deeper. And please make comments. Tell me anything you would like to compliment or you would like to ask, and we can have like a dialogue, because dialogues is what I really like, and we can't do it yet via Facebook. So if you have the book, chapter 14, the title is The Door of the Word, and the author is Emmanuel, the spirit Emmanuel. At the same time, also pray for us that God would open before us a door for the word. Paul in Colossians 4.3. Oh my God, my English here is terrible. The terrestrial present provides the most advanced processes of communication among human beings. On the same day, airplanes fly over a diversity of nations. Radio and television alter the old pattern of space. However, many millions of individuals do feel deeply isolated in themselves, even when they are an integral part of the masses. How many human beings do go through their lives requesting spiritual help to other human beings without any answer that calms their emotional field? What stresses the problem even more is that not always the material presence of someone is worth the help that someone needs. However, suffers prefers solitude to the company of those who aggravate their suffering. We all need relief at the moment of anguish or support in difficult moments. Thus, we look forward to receiving an understanding and proper word from those who surround us. However, in this sense, it will not be enough that our benefactors manage correctly the language or show their degree of culture. It is imperative that they know our feelings and problems, ideals and achievements. Let us meditate then on the importance of the verb and pray that God inspire us to find the adequate door to the right word, so we be useful to others as much as we await that others be useful to us. So New York in July 4th, 1965. Very short message, but very characteristic of Emmanuel. He likes to be very direct to the point. And as we all know, we always talk in Spiritism that the power of a word, it's very strong. Sometimes a word can be stronger than a real muscle. And sometimes a word can hurt as painfully as a knife. Yes, you might be thinking, oh, but that's crazy. No, it's not crazy. Sometimes words from people, sometimes people we admire, sometimes people we don't care, but it doesn't matter. Words can really hurt us deeply. And then we might not even talk about that, but it stays within us and it hurts. So as we do not like to listen to something that hurts us, we have to be careful when we talk to others. Sometimes we talk to others with the best of our intentions, but even if we are talking to others with the best of our intentions, we still hurt people. So, and especially us, you know, we are spiritists, we believe in the continuation of life in the other side of the world, in the spiritual realm, what is the real word, we believe in it. But there are people that talk to us. There are people that actually ask us questions, especially when they are suffering, because they would like to grasp for an opinion or for an idea or for hope. And we need to be really, really careful when you're going to talk to someone, when you're going to give an advice, depending on the situation of the person. This is why Emmanuel says here in the page 56, it is imperative that they know our feelings and problems, ideals and achievements. So this is like people that search for us, and we are going to say something, especially if we are friends with the person. We have to be careful. Why is this person asking me this? And you think before you answer. Let me give you an example, my example. Then I can give you examples of other famous people that also passed by situations like that. Many years ago, I had become a spiritist in America, like 20 years ago. And so as most of the people, when you're new to studying something, I'm not saying about believing in spirituality, believing in life after death, because I was born like this, but I'm talking about studying deeply Spiritism, really studying. A friend of mine passed by a very, very bad situation. Her brother died in an airplane accident. And she was devastated. She was devastated, and I was trying to know how could I help her. I wanted to help her somehow. Her brother was in Brazil, was going to Brazil, and she was here in America, and she was like totally lost. And I was trying to give her words of love. But at that moment, she started asking me certain questions that were very deep, like why this happened to him, why all this suffering, why I have to go through this, why he has to go through this. These questions are very difficult for someone to answer. First, if you don't have a lot of knowledge. Second, when someone is hurt, your words might make things worse than better. So whenever someone is going through such a hard time, the best thing really is to give love, to avoid any kind of a conversation at that moment. At that moment, the person is very disturbed. The person is desperate for a hug, for love, for words of hope. And when we start discussing the depth of Spiritism, why God is that, why God is this, it's very hard. It's very hard to anyone. And imagine me, I was not very experienced in Spiritism. The only thing that I knew is that he is not dead. He is alive. But in her mind, that she was not a Spiritist, this was extremely hurtful, and she could care less about anything I said. And I was trying to make things a little bit better, and it was actually worse. Summarizing the issue, she got really hurt, not just with my words, but with God in general. And then whatever I told her, instead of helping, made her extremely upset, and she decided to stop talking to me. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? So just for you to understand, it's difficult to talk about certain issues. And sometimes what the person really wants is a hug, and I'm here for you. Don't think about this right now. Don't think about this right now. Try to be positive. Try to vibrate love. Try to give words of hope for the person. And I know it's not easy, but we have to be very careful with what we say in these distressful moments. One other example was Haroldo Dutra, the famous speaker from Brazil. He said that he lives in a building where a man worked in Brumadinho, in the Minas Gerais, Brazil, where had happened months ago. I don't even know how many months ago, but the terrible thing that a huge mudslide went through many houses, and the jobs, and lots and lots of people lost everything they had, and some people lost their lives. And the neighbor, his neighbor from his building, also lost the life. And the wife asked him to go there. And then he went there extremely nervous because of the same situation I just mentioned. The family, they were not Spiritists, and they had lots of questions, and they wanted answers. But Haroldo told her the same thing. I am not here to tell you anything, because anything I'm going to tell you right now is not going to help you. I just want to give you my love, tell you that I'm with you, that I'm praying. Let's pray together. Let's have hope that somehow he will be benefiting from this. They didn't even know if he was dead or not at that moment. But anyway, just for you to understand how we have to be careful with our words. Another example that I already gave in some of my lectures was that many years ago, a person that in the time was a president of a Spiritism center, received a phone call during a party that she was doing in her own house. So she was doing a party in her own house when someone calls and the person tell her, can I talk to you? And her house was crowded, lots of people, and was like a special party. And she said, I cannot talk to you right now. And then she told the person, I'm in a party in my house and I cannot talk to you right now. Can we talk tomorrow? And the person said, no, it has to be now. And she said, right now it's impossible, but call me tomorrow morning and we will talk. And she hung up. We don't know details. We don't know if this person was going through lots of problems and she knew about. We don't know if she knew anything this person was going through, but I believe she didn't. Anyway, so she did not talk to the person. She was in the party. She entertained the people. She talked to them, but deep in her mind, she was thinking about that person. Then the time passed. The next day in the morning, someone calls her because she was the president of the center, and someone tells her that the person Z committed suicide. And she was shocked. She was shocked, and she started thinking, oh my God, she called me yesterday and I did not exercise the power of a word, what we are talking right now. So what happened? It's very difficult for us to judge. I'm just giving you an example that we could be able to say something to maybe change the life of that person. But think about if it were you in the same situation. Would you be able to take time to talk to this person, or you would be in the same situation? Our lives are so busy. So whenever we have a few moments to talk to our friends, we decide to dedicate. But sometimes maybe little minutes, 2 minutes, that you go to a corner to hear a friend or to hear someone that is calling you, because if this person is calling you, it's because you're important. It's because you might have something that somebody else doesn't to offer. So let's try to listen to our inner voice and take a moment and say, okay, I really only have 5 minutes because of this, and this. How can I help you? And listen. Maybe you can just say, listen, don't think about taking your life. The life is the most important gift that God gave us. Think about, reflect. Doesn't matter the problem you are going through, it will be easier. And you can even say, listen, let's meet tomorrow. Can you come here right now? Whatever you can do. Because you might be able to, with positive words, positive enforcement, you might help to change the life of someone, to change the thought forms, the negative thoughts that someone is going through, and you might be able to give a second chance to this person. So it's not easy, it's a difficult subject, but it's something for us to reflect. We might have never passed by a similar situation, but we might pass. So we need to think, we need to be prepared. Let me read any comments that I have here. Andrea Causley, hello Andrea, welcome, nice to have you here. Saul said, yes, we have to be careful with the words, yes. Teresa said, I think practicing silence or listening may be the verb Emmanuel is alluding to. It could be also. Sometimes, as I just said, sometimes just a hug or saying, I'm here to help you, it can be this verb too. So we know the verb, the power of verb, the power of talking It's very important. But as I mentioned, in certain moments, sometimes just the physical presence is already so good. It already says more than many words. So it depends on how we interpret it. And Saul says, when we don't know what to say to someone in need, just give a hug or pray. Yes, exactly. That's what I said. This is why it's so good when we can be physically present there to be able to do it. But if we can't, especially with our globalized world, you know, we are everywhere. I am in Miami. You guys are in your houses, in Connecticut, in New York, so many different places of the world. And sometimes the person that you feel connected is not in your state, it's not in your city, it's not in your neighborhood. So it's very good that we have some kind of positive words. And what Emmanuel says also, very, very modern text, very up to date. Because nowadays, he says, however, how many millions of individuals do feel deeply isolated in themselves, even when they are an integral part of the mass? Yes, imagine what we are going through nowadays. You know, internet is a huge part of society. Everybody is connected. Everybody's on Facebook, Instagram, so many other different social media platforms. And people spend hours, and it's easy to spend hours in the phone, especially in the phone. This little tiny thing, it's not a gigantic thing that you need to carry around. You just have on your hand, and you just look, when you see 2 hours passed. And what were you doing? You were reading about other people's lives. You were seeing pictures. You were like, yeah, sometimes it's really good. I love internet. I absolutely love internet. But I am one of the people that have to police myself, because you can spend hours in the internet. And when you see like, oh my God, what did I do with these 2 past hours? You could be reading a phenomenal book. You could be studying. You could be doing some active work, and you are just there. So if you are going to spend time on the internet, let's try to focus on something that is useful. For example, us, we are actually studying Spiritism. We are improving ourselves. I also love to go to community chats, like for example, from my neighborhood. I don't know where you guys are, but there is a wonderful app called Nextdoor. So this app of Nextdoor is the Facebook of the neighborhood. So I really like Nextdoor because it connects people. Facebook is wonderful because you connect globally. You have friends in Europe and Brazil, everywhere. So you know a little bit about these people. But Nextdoor brings us much closer. So you end up discovering your neighbors next door. You can do so many things. I organize bike groups. We go biking together with my local neighborhoods. I organize game nights so I can actually physically meet my neighbors, and they become my friends. And then there are lots of things talking about, like lost dogs, lost cats. This happened, that happened. Can you help? I also post lots of my initiatives, my charitable initiatives, like we had a few weeks ago, the loving bags for the homeless, a beautiful project that gives little gifts for the homeless. It happens in Miami, in New York, in Charlotte, it happens in Virginia, in so many places. It's happening now. And also the nursing home, the Christmas event that we bring music and happiness to the elderly. So I like to post it very locally so we can have people joining it. This is useful, but even that we have to be careful. We have to be careful even doing that. So everything in life is balance. Everything that's excess, it's not good. Everything, sugar, salt, internet. And because of the internet gives this false idea that you have thousands of friends. You end up spending thousands of hours in internet. And nowadays, the young people, the teenagers, for example, and some children also, instead of going out to meet people, going out to the movies, to play ball, soccer, whatever, they stay home. The teenagers and the little kids playing video games like little maniacs. And the young adults, they spend the time in front of a computer. So we actually end up lacking that connection, that a nice bond of a physical hug. And we end up giving wireless, giving online hugs. So everything is a balance, because internet is wonderful. I absolutely love it, but too much, it's bad. So what he's mentioning now is that people end up isolating themselves in their homes, on the phones, within this false idea that you have thousands of friends, and in reality it's not true, because friends are the ones that you can really count on. And I'm not saying friends that are next door, no, because my best friend lives in Brazil. My best friend lives in Brazil. And if I need anything from Brazil, I will call her and she will do it. And I will do the same. And sometimes we think, oh, we have thousands of friends. No, we have colleagues, we have acquaintances, because the real friends are the ones that when you are going through a difficult situation, when you're going through a hard time, you call that person and that person will say, okay, I will help you. Let's think about how to do it. Maybe the person is going to say, I can't do anything, but together we can discover some situation, some solution. Let's be positive. So these are people that you can consider friends. So we need more of this. And whenever we have a community, for example, some of us are able to go physically to a Spiritist center. This is already a community, because we are congregated there with a goal, with an aim of better ourselves, starting together, improving, becoming a better person. This unites us. So even if in that place you don't have like a best friend, but it's a place that you can try to find some help. So this is already something that a lot of people don't have. A lot of people don't have it. They feel very lonely, especially for people like us that we immigrated from our country. So when you move to a different country, so many things change. Your life changed, the language changed, the place you live, work, everything. I know that sometimes when you live many, many years in a place, you get really acclimated, you learn the language, you get a job, you study, you make new friends. But, you know, this is not the norm to everyone, especially if people start going through difficult times. And also people that end up going through depression. Depression is something that is a danger, is a silent danger that can take any one of us. Don't ever say it's never gonna happen to me, because you don't know. I actually like to say that every time I said never, boom, it happened. So nowadays I don't like to say never. I don't like to say never. But even depression happened to me like 10 years ago. 10 is later, like 15 years ago. It happened to me and was like this. And I couldn't believe. I am always super happy, bubbly, and this happened. Yes, a hard time happened in my life, and I couldn't help my parents. I went like crazy, getting desperate. And when you see, you are depressed. And a person that's depressed do not see the light at the end of the tunnel, because when a person is depressed, everything is bad, everything. There is nothing that helps. So yes, there are people who are like chronicle depressed, so they need a little bit stronger help. They need medication, they need something that can boost their level of energy. And for me, in that time, my husband was able to identify that I was strange, and he actually took me physically and brought me to the Spiritist Center. So now I'm remembering, this was like right in the beginning of my life in the United States. So it's more than 15 years ago. It's like 19 years ago. My God, I'm old. So it's funny, because a person that's under depression kind of want to be alone. I don't want to talk. I don't want to see anyone. Things that used to make you happy don't make you happy anymore. Many things annoy you. It's very weird. We have to be compassionate for people that are going through this. And we have to be with them and trying to help, trying to bring some light in their lives. They don't understand. Give a book. If you can do like my husband, he grabbed me and said, "You're going to your church." And that's what he did. He brought me there. I didn't want to go. He forced me to go. And as nothing happens by a chance, the day I went there, I sat down. The lecture was about a different topic, but a big portion of the lecture was about depression. I was very new to Spiritism in America. And I remember when I was listening to the speaker, I was just like, oh. I thought he was talking to me and to me only. So when it finished, when the lecture finished, I went straight to him and I said, "You cured me." And he looked at me and he's like, "Who are you?" And I remember he said to me, he was kind of like afraid of me. And he said, "I did not cure you. Jesus cured you." I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter for you or Jesus, but you're the one who actually spoke. So he was the intermediary of the good word. And that's what we're talking about today, the good word, the positive word, the positive reinforcement that many times we need it. So let's make an effort to be this positive word. We don't need to talk too much. As Teresa said, and also Saul said, sometimes no words are good if we can just hug the person and say, "I'm here. I love you. I don't know how to help you right now, but let's be strong and let's be together." So this is very, very important for us. And us being spiritists, we know that when we say something with love, it emanates love. It's almost like when I see the little hearts here, it's almost like that. It's like we are showering that person with hearts. We are sending out these good vibrations. And maybe at the first time, the person does not feel that. But I see the hearts. But that person will start receiving, absorbing. The perispirit of this person is going to start absorbing this love. So this is why it's so important for us. As the same way we love to receive good vibrations, we love to receive good comments, and who doesn't love to receive something good? Everybody. So we also should always remember we should give something good and a positive whenever we can. I know sometimes we are in desperate need to receive, but whenever we can, we give, because we know that whenever you give something, you will receive in double. You will receive much more than what you give. So let's make this exercise something that we can practice really, because something is talking. To talk, it's easy, but to actually do, it's much more difficult. So let's police ourselves also to be careful with whatever we say, so we can control ourselves to not say the wrong words that are so important many times. So let me read what you guys wrote here. Give a hug or a pray. Yes, Saul said, I am not a saint or an angel. I am far away from that. But the Spiritism helps us a lot to be a light of someone. Yes, it's true. Always my mom is sad. She likes to talk to me and she feels better. Yes, it's true. It's true. And it's so good to talk to mom. It's so good. Whenever our moms are gone, we will miss it so deeply. It's already hard to be far physically, but I just imagine how difficult it is then when we don't have the person we love physically with us, even if in a different country. Then Saul also said, my teenage girl likes to be in the phone all the time. I don't like it. That every teenager loves the phones. It's amazing. It's amazing. And teenagers are very funny because they don't actually use the phone to talk like in the past. I remember I'm from a time that didn't exist cell phones when I was a teenager. So it was a line phone. And in purpose, the phone was in the living room or in my mother's bedroom. And of course, teenagers love to be on the phone forever in my time. So I used to be on the phone, and of course, the whole family paying attention to whatever I was saying. But nowadays, teenagers are different. They text message. It's like unbelievable. Everything is text message. They don't actually talk to people. It's like, wow. Teenagers, very different generation. We need to adapt. And as I said, everything, in balance. When we do everything in balance, everything is good. Because I also love to chat. I love WhatsApp. Okay, we go now to the Gospel according to Spiritism. And we are going to read, we're going to comment. We are on chapter 5. We are going to comment today number 25 and 26. Let me just see. We are almost finishing. Chapter 5 is really big chapter. So the number 25 talks about melancholy. So melancholy is, some people say melancholy is saudade in Portuguese, is longness. Do you say longness? I don't think so. Forgot the word. But melancholy is it's not saudade. Saudade is something that we think about, we remember something and we miss it, but it can be happy. Melancholy is always like a little bit down, it's a little bit sad. At least this is the understanding in English. So what the spirit of Francois de Genève talk about it? Let me read just the beginning part here. Do you know why a vague sadness sometimes weighs upon your hearts and makes you find life so bitter? It's your spirit which aspires to happiness and freedom, and which, bound to the body that serves as its prison, exhausts itself in vain efforts to escape. However, seeing that such efforts are useless, it falls into despondency, and the body, bearing the spirit's influence, sluggishness, dejection, and kind of apathy seizes you and find yourself unhappy. So this is the explanation that Francois is telling us. So our spirit wants to be happy. Actually, who doesn't want to be happy? Everybody wants to be happy. The difference is that we understand happiness in a different way. We understand, we incarnated on the physical body. We understand sometimes happiness as having things, buying the newest bag, the newest shoe, the dress, or having a trip of your dreams, or I don't know, whatever you think brings happiness into your life. And yes, it will bring you some type of happiness, a momentary happiness. Yes, it will bring you a momentary happiness, but it's not something that will stay with you, because after you get something, that's it, you got it. So now you need something else to make you happy again. And as he's saying here, you wish to be fully happy, meaning you wish to go in a place that there is no sufferings, there is no sadness, everybody is compassionate, there are no torture of animals, I saw like a few days ago in Brazil, and we see here, we see everywhere. So you wish to be in a place that everything is beautiful. There is no poverty, there is no diseases. That's what we want to be, fully happy. But we know we cannot have this on Earth, because Earth is a planet of expiations, you know, tests and atonements. We are evolving to a regeneration planet where we'll be a little bit better. But we want to be in the bliss planet where the happiness is like a norm, but we can't. So sometimes, as the spirit is saying, we get down, we get melancholic, we get like, oh, I'm still so far away. I'm like a little bit thousands of reincarnations away of this super perfect planet. And we get down. But it's normal. It's normal for us. You know, it's normal for us to go up, to go down, to go up, to go down. This is more or less our lives. The important thing is not to be and then you go down and you kind of stay down and you don't have strength to come up. We have to understand that this is normal. In the planet Earth, happiness, full happiness, is not going to happen, because we need to live in these conditions. Even if you consider yourself fully happy, you can't, because maybe your life is perfect, but someone that you love is not. Someone that you really like is going through a very difficult situation, maybe a health condition, maybe financial, maybe some kind of a difficulty. We don't know. So many people that I know nowadays are desperate to have kids and they can't, and they try everything and they can't. This is very upsetting. It's very difficult. So that's why we say on the planet Earth, you can be fully happy. But whatever you have to deeply enjoy and deeply thank God for that. Yes, many times you worked very hard to buy a bag, and that's good. Enjoy your bag. But the happiness that stays within us is when we make someone else happy. When you don't need to make someone happy, but you make someone smile. Someone looks at you and say, she made me smile. I don't even know who she is, but she's nice. So whenever you're going, sometimes you think, oh, I'm feeling so bad. Try to overcome it and try to say, you know, I have a physical body. I am strong. I have health. I have a job. If you don't have a job, you need to be even stronger because you need to be positive in order to work towards your goal, to get a job. So give thanks to everything you have. And we have so many things, so many things. I love the poem of gratitude from Divaldo Pereira Franco, where he gives thanks to so many things. It's so beautiful. It brings me tears every time I listen or I read that poem. And he says, thank you for our eyes. Many times we don't think about it. It's like, it's a given. But think about the people that don't have eyes. They can see. They can see the sunset. They can see the moon. They can see the smile of a child. They can see a funny dog. Imagine the people that try to talk and they don't have a voice. They can't talk. Like us right now, like me right now. It's difficult. These are challenges in life. And because we understand that God is a wonderful mother and father, we understand that everything has a reason to be in this way. We don't understand why, but we know nothing happens by a chance. So if you're going through difficult time in that life, it's because you need to clean your previous lives. That's something you did that wasn't that good. But that's why we are here right now. We are like working. We are working double. You know, we could be on bed sleeping, or we could be on the couch watching soap opera, but we are here. We are using Facebook in a positive way. As I said before, this is great. And that's what we really need to do. There are so many beautiful things to be thankful. So let's focus in the beautiful things that we have to be thankful. And many times we don't think, starting with our physical body, because this is already a blessing. We know there are usually four times the size of the population incarnated on Earth are the spirits around the planet Earth trying to reincarnate. They are trying to have the blessing of being reincarnated. So let's give thanks to God to be reincarnated, and let's do the best use of our incarnation. That's what is so important. So I just saw Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa. How are you, my friend? I actually need to talk to you, to call you. We keep scheduling and we never do it, but busy word. So Saul said, our body is our prison, but our spirit is free when we sleep. Yes, perfect, Saul. Yay. Yes, it's so beautiful, the poem. Yes, it's so beautiful. I actually have a video that I think is a Spiritist Society in Switzerland, translated to English and put beautiful images. And it's really like, it's a blessing. I will put on Facebook as soon as I finish the study. We have 6 minutes. I can't believe it. So let's start the next one. Voluntary trials through sackcloth. So sackcloth, very weird word. What is sackcloth? So sackcloth is really, how can I explain? Is really like getting out of our comfort zone. It's something that we feel very comfortable, and is getting out of that, changing something. So let's read a little bit. Number 26. You ask if it's permissible to mitigate your trials. This question leads to this. It is permissible for those who are drowning to save themselves? Drowning to save themselves? For those who have a thorn to remove it? For those who are ill to call a doctor? Trials are meant to engender intelligence as well as patience and resignation. Individuals may be born into a painful and difficult situation precisely to make them search for the means of overcoming it. The merit consists in bearing without complaining the consequences of the ills that cannot be avoided. It is persevering in the struggle and in not becoming desperate if unsuccessful, but without giving into indifference, which would be laziness more than virtue. So this is very important. Sometimes we are going through a difficult time and we start on that thing of poor me. Poor me, it just happens to me. Everything bad is always me. If something had to collapse, would fall on top of my head. And then we start in this way saying that oh, I'm so, everything happens to me. Poor me, I suffer without any cause. You know, I'm such an angel. No, we are not angels. Doesn't matter what we are going through. Sometimes, yes, sometimes very difficult. Sometimes we are going through problems that are very hard. But remember, Jesus does not give us a cross that we cannot carry. So if you are going through something, it's because you can overcome it. So get out of this poor me situation and say, okay, this is difficult, but with Jesus, I will overcome it. What can I do to make it more bearable? What can I do to start getting better, to start leaving this situation? You know, many times people say, oh, I can't find a job. It's terrible. My life is this. I don't have money to this and that. Yes, this happens to a lot of people. It happened to me. So it happens to a lot of people. But it's important for us not to give up. If you give up and you stay home and you're like, poor me, crying. I'm not saying you cannot cry, because I cried many times. You know, yes, cry, of course. Sometimes we go through difficult trials that are really hard. But what I'm saying is we cannot be stuck there. We cannot be stuck in crying and poor me. Cry a little bit and then, okay, what can I do about it? So I need a job. Okay, what should I do? First, resume. Create a resume. Second, publish it in the internet. Nowadays, there are Indeed, there are LinkedIn, there are so many platforms that help you. Send it to your friends. Yes, go out also, knock on doors, try to do whatever. And if it's not a job, your difficulty, if something else, you're going through the depression, try to search for useful tools. What can you do? And I also believe in our food, whatever we put in our physical bodies. You know, it's in the past, junk food was just in America, but now junk food is everywhere, everywhere. And you know, we have to try to eat a little bit more healthy. We should stop eating so many fried things. We should eat more vegetables. We should have a little bit of sun. Go out. If you have a dog, it's a blessing. Go out with this dog. Take the dog out. So you actually go out with it, with him or her. So few things that we actually have to do in order to help to solve our own problems. If we stay in the condition of poor me, locked in our house or just crying, it's not gonna be better. The situation is just gonna go worse. So whatever you're going through, remember to say thank you for all the blessings you have and to face your difficulties the best way possible. So we have so many blessings, and sometimes we just count our difficulties. and we focus on our difficulties. So whatever we feed, this is I think it's a Chinese story. There were, how is that? There were two wolves. I think that's like that. There were two wolves, one bad and one good. And then the student asked the master, who will win? Who will be the strongest one? Who will be the one that's gonna prevail? The good wolf or the bad wolf? And then the master said, the one that you feed. So we can use to ourselves our bad side and our good side. The side that we listen to the negative spirits, to the obsessors, to the spirits that want to put us down, or the side that our guardian angel is there, a family member that passed is like always telling us, or even someone, a friend of someone that tells you certain things and you're like, this person doesn't care about my pain, it's telling me to go out to search for work. Sometimes when we are angry, we don't listen. We block. It's almost like we create a cement wall in front of us, or a cement wall on our ears, so we don't listen. That's why the power of prayer is so important. Because when we are down, when we are angry, when we are with something, take a few minutes and pray. And pray. It doesn't need to be hours praying. Just like, please God, help me. Give me patience. I always ask for that with a teenager son. Please God, help me with this and that. And just those few brief moments are useful to help you to calm down. Like, for example, today with my situation, the book disappeared. Every time I'm going to talk on Facebook Live about Spiritism, something happens. The internet doesn't get connected, the computer doesn't open, and now even the book disappears. But, I took a few seconds to connect with my guardian angel. Please help me. I don't know what to do. And suddenly I listened. Did you look in the book case? So I went there. And actually, the girl that helps me in the house, she put in the bookcase. I never put the book there because I'm always reading it. Anyway, this is just for us to understand how life can be much better than what we pursue it, than what we see it. The thing is like, what are you feeding? How are you feeding the good wolf or the bad wolf within you? So this is what it's extremely important. So this is for today. We already passed a little bit of the time. So tonight was our last class of the year, and I want to wish you all a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas. And all of you that are seeing us right now, or you're listening, or you're going to be listening later on, I wish you all wonderful Christmas with your friends, with your family. If you need to be alone, be positive and understand the biggest gift of all is our health. This is the biggest gift. It's not something that we can buy. We actually need to have it and be very thankful for having it. And if you don't have good health right now, we don't understand why. Maybe are consequences from our past actions, but be faithful. Pray for it. Pray for some guidelines. Pray for a treatment, a doctor, whatever. But this is more important than any kind of physical gift. our life being incarnated on earth, going through whatever kind of problems we are going, this is the best gift ever, to be reincarnated, going through this time. And it's a blessing that we all received, that we discover somehow Spiritism and these beautiful teachings that bring so much light into our lives, and makes our difficulties a little bit easier, understanding that everything has a reason, and understanding that even if we are far away, now technology helps us so much that we can talk to other people. We can use this little tiny unbelievable machine to talk to people that we love, that are far away, or even the ones that are close. So thank you so much for you being here with me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for dedicating your time to study Spiritism. And I wish you also a wonderful new year, a happy 2020. I cannot believe another decade. It's finishing, and soon we are going to be in 2020. Wow, that's beautiful. So Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy New Year. And we will be back. We will be back soon, but we'll be already 2020. Very, very good. So let me just read here. Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas, Isabel, to you, your family too. Thank you, all of you. A big, big kiss, and feel hugged. If I could be there with you, I would hug all of you. Thank you so much. God bless all of you, and see you soon in 2020. Bye! I love the hearts.